All right, I am going to load canoes. I'm going to test my double um, canoe loading theory. Canoe number one, the Mad River, that I did a video a couple weeks ago on refurbishing, replacing rails, restaining and new polyurethane on the yoke. My son and I built a thwart out of oak and redid the seats, the seat droppers, these little pieces out of treated pine. That's they're really deck boards, and new decks on each end. So if you've seen that video, we're just we're getting ready to test doing two canoes on the truck. How best to do that? Let's see how they fit in my truck. So I'll pause. Okay, so I've got it started here. Need to reset that foam, but the plan is I've obviously got to get the foam blocks a little closer to fit on the cab of my truck, since this is an older truck. It's an '04. It's not got the wider cabs that the newer trucks have. So anyway, it's going to go up top, and then the other canoe will go in the bed. So we're going to stop it right here for now. All right, so I'm going up the cab, open the cab door. Got a step here. I'm gonna try to slide that a little further. So the truck's fairly tall. It really doesn't have much of the way of a lift. It's just got a leveling spring on the front, but it's still on 35s, and it's a 3500, so it's tall enough to make this more difficult than normal. And I'm 6'2", so not super tall, but I'm not short either. So it takes some time, one person. Put some light vest down and make it slide a little easier. All right, so canoe number one up. Probably needs to go a little more forward now that I get down here and see, and then that'll make the bow tie line come a little easier to the front of the truck. So I was trying to center her up on the Mad River decal, which is pretty well centered on the canoe, so looks like I need to come a couple feet forward. So I would make that adjustment. I think that's fairly well centered up. So obviously it's a pretty long truck with a long bed, 8-foot bed. So I've got the these front pads pushed all the way up against the thwart. I've got the canoe on backwards, and reason for that is I've got these folding seats. That way I can leave them on and turn them backwards and the wind doesn't affect them. So next thing is to do is to show you how I'm going to strap it. You may be wondering, because I don't have really anything to tie down to up there. So let me show you next. Okay, so I've got these are NRS 20 feet straps, be what I would call a motorcycle strap, although NRS is actually a whitewater and canoe company, accessory company. So let's see, let me separate these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and through. Let's see how well I can do this on camera. All right, I got it through. Should be able to reach up from the other side. Let's see if we can. Let's try filming it. Just get it out of the way. All right, let's walk around. Yeah, I got some stuff to tuck away. That's a bow line. I like to have one. Let's, let's see if you can kind of see that. Pretty tight. And then I can just kind of, I can either use these hanging hooks, or I think I can just really kind of tuck it back behind the headrest there. And then I'll just do another one through the the front side. I'll do it, you know, kind of in this area, and then I'll just have to tie it up well out of the way so it's out of my way driving. And that's what it looks like with the door shut. Alright, let's go over and try this side. I may just pause it on this one. I think it's, we'll do a front facing again. So you can kind of see what's going on here. Passenger side and A-pillar. Same thing as last time, just going over top of the canoe. I'll try to rethrow that so I can keep the strap flat the way I want it. That's better. right, let's get her buckled in. Uh-oh. I don't think I really want to go through this handle on the A-pillar. So you can still get to the sun visors. I'm gonna come over to the other side and just pull it tight. Visors still accessible. And probably in the middle here. All right. All right, so I can tie that up a little bit better later, but you can see should be good and tight. Let's there's your fit. Of course, I'll put a bow line on here and a stern line, but I mean I think it's pretty rock steady right now. So happy with that. All right, let's go ahead and I'm gonna pause you here for a second. I'll show you what I'm gonna do for the other canoe. Handy for something. So it's an extended load, you know, for long boards or whatever, but should work for this other canoe pretty well. And let me hook it up real quick. Nope, that's not going to give you a view. Let's go get the chair again. We'll put it all the way up for now. Not sure how high it'll need to be, but that's where it's going to be for now. Let's just see how it comes out. get the other canoe, get the perception, and see how it fits in there. All right, so I'll just kind of show you what it looks like, the length on it. With the toolbox in there, I'm not sure it's going to give me the length I need. I've got a couple different extensions. I've got like a, I think it used to be a 4 foot, but it's like 3.5 now, foot extension for when I've got this on the truck to clear that back end, which we haul a hitch hauler or something like that, or sometimes tow the Jeep behind us. But then I've got a shorter extension I'll have to locate. But we'll see what it looks like with this on here. I may have to kind of turn the canoe sideways, shove the bow in kind of sideways, and let it lay on here. May also get a piece of, instead of a lot of people use a pool noodle, I've got some plumbing insulation, so I may get some of that to put on there. We'll see how that looks. Okay, I had my son help me carry in the Perception Chattooga, just easier to do that way. And I'm gonna finish the strapping, but the Mad River Explorer's sitting up there just fine. By the way, Explorer's a 16-foot canoe, and the Perception Chattooga's 15 feet 6 inches. It's pretty much a purebred whitewater canoe that I don't know if anybody really builds that anymore. I guess people are doing whitewater do kayaks mostly these days, but anyway, that's what its job was. And it's been in my family since new, and either 78 or 79 is when we bought it. And in the 80s is when I started being able to use it with my dad and friends and scouting and and beyond. So anyway, Mad River should serve fine as well. Anyway, we'll show you the strapping. I still got to do the bow and stern rope on the Mad River, and I'll walk you around on how the Perception fits in a second. All right, that didn't have a very good perspective on that. So I've got this big bumper with these towing shackles down here. So it's pretty easy to be able to, I just kind of ran it through this one, through this one and then back to the line to have a straight center pull, and then just pulled it tight. This is a Malone kit, but you may be familiar with a company called Rope Ratchet. That's more or less what this is, and if I had to guess, they buy these from Rope Ratchet, or maybe it's possible that the patent ran out by Rope Ratchet, and it says Malone on it, but it came as a canoe tie down kit or kayak tie down kit. But that makes pretty sturdy. You know, a little bit of movement there, but really not much. It just really needs to snug it anyway. I'm going to run one off the back. Those are nice and tight on the sides. Yeah, I've got the one other here, and then let me pause you for a second. I'll show you the straps I'm going to use on the Perception back here. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I did here. So the I've kind of got it in there slightly angular. I just kind of shoved it up in this corner, the bow. I figured that was the best way to get most of the canoe in. And then on this edge of the rack, got it pushed tight. And then I'll run a strap here to the other side, one of these heavier straps, and then I don't know if I'll hit one of these tie downs, probably right across. I can probably go across these stake pockets, or one of these other tie down holes. Yeah, it's got some anchors, maybe right here. Yeah, you've got some cleats right there. That's probably the best way. Maybe I'll just go across there and ought to hold it in real nice. But I'll show you what it's gonna look like going down the road. I may take that red flag and tie it to the back of the canoe that's hanging on that actually came with that little Harbor Freight extended load rack. So, and by the way, I've had that thing for 10 years. It was, I don't know, $18 or $19 when I bought it, and I think they're $60 or $70 now. And I just figured the steel was worth that if I need to cut it up and use it to weld or whatever. But looks like it's going to work pretty well for this, for carrying two canoes. Still haven't figured out how I'm going to get them both up there, but I'll have to fabricate something. And but for now, I can do day trips to the New River. I'm in central North Carolina, and it can be, just an hour and 15 minutes or so to the New River, and that's a good family river to canoe on. But anyway, that's kind of what I've got. I'll pause here, and I'll just show you with it strapped in a second. All right, so I can't remember location-wise where I left off. I know we covered this, but the front tie to the canoe, you got the straps going through the cab of the truck. That's kind of their setup. You've got this rope ratchet or Malone tie down, and I've kind of got it coming to this center post. And then on the Perception, I've got these big, I think that's a 2-inch strap from the cleat inside the bed, and I'll show you how I did that in a second. This is pretty far forward, so I want to go a little further forward, but I can dog it down a little tighter, pulling low on there, and it's pretty tight, but and I can pull that a little tighter. Actually, this is just kind of a test. This is a test setup for when we go in a week and a half or so. But so this is how this one works. So you start one strap here, you go over. This is how most people tie canoes. You go under, and then you go back up, and that's this pulls it pretty tight right up against the canoe, and then back over, and you can kind of see where I hooked it into the same anchor point, pulled it tight, and that's pretty doggone snug. I mean, you got a little wobble, but that's, you know, a lot of that wobble's due to the hitch. And so anyway, but overall, you know, I took this little flag out and tied it to the canoe, because that's hangs out there a ways. But it's a long load, no doubt. But without a you know, I may make something for my wife's 4Runner to be able to carry 2 on top of it, where I take a I've seen where they use 2x2s. I guess basically you're ripping a 2x4 in half. You certainly could use 2x4s and use a foam block on either side, and then they just kind of, you know, they hang out yay far, and you just slide one canoe over and one over next to it. I could haul 2 that way on the roof. It's hard enough to get one up there right now. This works fine. It's easy to get that second one on there, and still plenty of room in the bed for, you know, paddles and life vests and so forth. And, you know, still got toolbox space too. I don't have a ton of stuff in there. And again, here's the tricky part. I'm thinking about doing some type of swivel mount that'll swivel down. You put the canoe on, and then you pull it up. But once this thing's on the truck, you know, it's tall enough here, but when it's on the truck, it's up there pretty good. You can't hardly do anything without a step ladder. So a decent sized step ladder at that. So it may just be, we'll keep it limited to short distances, and take another car. You gotta kind of need one at the pull-up point anyway, and either that, or, you know, I always got a trailer there to throw stuff on, so could put 2 canoes on that for sure. So anyway, just wanted to make this video, and appreciate you watching. Hopefully you learned a little bit on how to do it. But you can do 2 on a roof. I've seen them done on, well, even cars, with, as long as you've got a bar going across there, and you don't necessarily have to have a Thule or a Yakima rack. You know, you can do again a 2x4 or a 2x2 on foam blocks, and strap that down, and then put 2 canoes side by side. But that's kind of how it works on this truck. Again, it's kind of slightly tall, so it's easier just to put one up there. But we'll see. We may edit this in the future with another version and hauling both on the roof. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll update in the future maybe. Okay, one last addendum here. I started looking at it, I was like, man, this is pretty long. So just wanted to kind of show you what you'd be up against if you had a similar idea. 25-foot tape measure. So at the end of the tape, I'm just a little bit past the rack. It's not as far as it looks like there. So I should have turned the tape the other way, but so 25. Let's see what we end up with. About another 4 feet or so to the end of the canoe. Maybe 4.5 at the most, but I was a little bit past the rack, so I'm gonna say just about 4 feet. So about 29 feet total is what you're up against with that. So it's no joke. You got to watch the end of your canoe when you're turning around. It's similar to when I have this on the truck, and and like a hitch hauler on the back. So yeah, that's about the same distance. So it's something to consider as well. But anyway, just thought I'd add that. All right, thanks again for watching.